Welcome back to Maintenance Minute, everyone. I'm Jim Viebrock. In today's episode, we're going to build this beautiful trim work accent wall. Let's get started. Okay, like I said, this is going to be a fun project. It's relatively easy if you have any carpentry skills at all, and we're going to take this to the next level. So what we have is just a regular blank wall. We've taken the trim boards off, the baseboards off. The baseboards that are in this house are a little bit wider than normal. This baseboard is 3¼ inches. Some of the rest of them are like 2½. So when we put a base piece down here for our wall project, we have to compensate for this base piece, meaning I want the same amount of wood showing on the base piece as I do all the way around. So I want my 3½ inch wide wall boards to match all the way around. So that means I have to come up with a 6¾ inch base piece. So I'm going to go out to the wood shop and I'm going to cut that to length and rip it down. And we're going to reuse some reclaimed wood in this project. So let me get that started. I'll be right back. I've prepared my base kick plate here, and I've even sanded it down a little bit. We're going to use some pre-primered material for part of this, so we're going to have to primer this before we're all said and done. But again, like I said, I like to use reclaimed material whenever I can. Saves on the cost, and for those of you who carry it, it kind of helps with the planet as well. So anyway, it's cut to length, and we've ripped it. The thing that you want to make sure is that your floor is level, and in this case, it's laying on the floor and we're right in the bubble, so everything's fine. I'm going to go ahead and tack this on here, and then we're going to talk about our outlets here. Okay, that'll keep it from falling over. So what I want to talk to you about with the outlets, when you lay this out, you don't want one of your outlets to hit in your upright piece because that's not going to work. So you're going to have to figure this out. Now, how you do your math is you take the width of your boards you're going to use. This case is 3½ inches, and you're going to have one on each end. So you take 3½ inches off that end, 3½ inches off the other end, measure the distance between the two, divide that by the number of spaces that you want. So may have to do that a time or two to avoid, you change the number of boxes to avoid hitting one of the outlets. So take your time, do your math, and lay it out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is stand up and do the top rail. For the top rail, I'm also using a piece of reclaimed wood. So what I'm going to do is determine my height for that. Now, this is a standard height room, and the going standard measurement for that is between 60 and 65 inches. So we kind of played around with it earlier to determine what we want, and that's off of the floor. So we decided we wanted 64 inches. So we've put a few marks down through here so that we can see, but ultimately we're going to let my level determine what our height is going to be. So I'm going to take my board. Now we've sanded on this a little bit. It's easier to sand on these boards before you hang them on the wall. So they're not perfect at this point, but they're better than just being a rough cut. Attaching the top rail is very important that you get it level. So you're going to need to have a level here, and you can tell I've got it right in the marks. But sometimes it's a little hard to get it started. So what I would suggest you do is have help and hold it up there. Make your marks on the wall at the height you want it. Ours was 64 inches. And then set it in place and use your level. Now, boards aren't perfect. They may arch or they may have a wave to them, something like that. So what you want to do is correct it for visualness. So measure off of the floor to make sure you're where you want to be, like this. But then you also want to go through and measure it against the ceiling. Okay? So in my case, I'm at 31 5/8, and I'm in 31 5/8 all the way across there. If you rely solely on your level, some people are not going to like this statement, but if you rely solely on your level, you may be slightly out visually against the two parallel planes, the floor, the ceiling, and this new line you've created. So you may have to fudge it just a little bit to make it look right, but always double check your measurements and try and get it as close as you can. Now, if you're trying to figure out how to find a stud, because you need to be nailing this into the stud, let me give you a tip. Your electrical outlets are attached to a stud. So on one side or the other of this box is going to be a stud. Okay, so that's a good way to find it. Once you find that stud, the others are generally going to be 16 inches on center. So once you find the one, you'll be able to find all the rest, and you won't have to punch a bunch of holes in your wall looking for your stud. Okay, so the thing that I need to show you is why this board is 5 inches wide. The one at the bottom was 6 3/4 because we had the trim piece that wanted to go in here. This one you would think would be 3 1/2, but it's not, because we're going to put an 1.5 inch piece of chair rail that we're going to make look like a crown molding underneath this, and we're going to put a piece on top. But that's later in the video. The next thing we got to do is find out how we're going to put our boxes. So again, we're going to put the 2 pieces in on the ends first, then we're going to calculate the middle, okay? When you put these up here, one thing that you're going to watch out for is these gaps, okay? Because I'm tight at the bottom. I got a little gap up here. That's because this wall's not perfectly plumb. That's not a big deal, really, because you can fill this with caulk and make it go away. But this lip is a little bit more problematic. So what I'm going to do is take a shim and get in behind there and bring that up to where it's almost flush, or if you can get it completely flush, that's what you're going to want to do, because there may be difference between the thickness of this board and this board, and you're going to sand on that a little bit to make it clean it up a little bit better. And again, when we're done, we're going to use caulk to fix these seams, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now, we're just trying to watch it being flush right through here. What I probably should have talked about earlier on in the video is what type of nails we're using. I'm using my trusty old setup here. I've got some, they're not going to come out there for me. There we go. I'm using some straight 16 gauge headed nails with my air system. I like it quite a bit. We're also going to use some staples a little bit later in the video. If you don't have the nail set up, that's okay. You can use a number 10 finish nail to do the same thing. Just use a hammer that doesn't have a pattern on it whenever you nail it in. Now we're going to cut this off here in just a second, and we're going to repeat this on down through there. So let's do our math for our boxes. All right, you can tell your box is starting to take shape. Now let's put our verticals in. So again, we're going to measure the inside of our main box. I'm going to start over there, and I'm going to measure all the way to the inside of this box down there, come up with a number. Then I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to start trying to divide it out to where I don't hit any of my outlets. For us, that meant 5 boxes, and to the center point of each of our uprights is going to be right at 27 inches. So I'm going to now go cut some upright styles for this, and then we'll start making this look really cool. Okay, so we talked about your upright style here may be, the wall may be out of plumb. So you're going to want to correct that visually. So make sure you get that style in there straight up and down. Use a level for that, because otherwise you're going to have these weird lines. Again, you can correct against the wall using caulk or something. Okay, so this particular wall, our first box, is going to be 27 inches from this face to the center of the style. So you're going to get your tape measure out, and you're going to make a mark down here on your base piece at 27 inches. You're going to make another mark at the center point of your style. And I'm off just a little bit. So you don't want to get in the habit of using your hammer to beat on your finished work. So I will use, now that line is lined up. The next thing I want to do is make sure that I'm straight going up. It's also a good idea to just check your measurements. But again, it's more about it being straight up and down than it is being perfect on your measurements. There's some purists out there that are going to disagree with that. But the reality of it is you're building off of a wall structure that's not perfect. Sometimes you've got to adjust. When you're putting your styles in, you need to make sure your math is correct. So kind of lay them out and double check your math before you do it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the math because every house, every wall is going to be different. So just take your time, figure out the math, lay it out, put them in place. You can tell we have all of our styles in now, and I've even already started to trim out the inside of the boxes. So let me show you about that just real quick. This is Cove Molding. We bought this from our favorite big box retailer, and you're going to want to really take your time with this because these joints need to be tight. Okay, so take your time with that. And the first thing that I like to do is I'll do the long upright ones first. And so we're just going to put these in for you and just show you how easy this is. But they really ought to be tight enough that they'll stand there on their own. I've switched over to a stapler. This is, I'm using 16 gauge, 1-inch crown staples for this. And I'm just going to nail them into place here. You're pushing them tight against the wall. Okay. I pre-cut these so that we can do some time here. Again, you want them nice and tight. And I'm stapling them to the style, not to the wall. You also don't want to put a staple really close to the end because they might split out. Your boxes are pretty much done. You're going to go through and you're going to put spackle in your nail holes. And I cut the tip on the caulking gun, on the tube of caulk, really small because you want a very small bead to go down through here. And you might want to put it on the top, but you certainly want to join it to the wall. This particular wall has texture to it. Traditionally, these panels are going to be smooth, but we talked it over. We're going to leave the texture on these and paint this. This is all going to be the same paint color. Now's a good time to put your trim board back on, your baseboard back on. Now we're going to put the top part on. I have to reset my gun. Be right back. Hey everybody, I'm Jim Viebrock with Maintenance Minute, and I'm standing in the middle of a project house that we've been working on for a little while. One of the things about social media and YouTube and places like that is there's all kinds of people on there telling you that you can get rich owning real estate. And there's no doubt about it, owning real estate can be very, very profitable. But the realities of it is hot, dirty, nasty work. Next thing you know, you're undoing some nasty old toilet, or you're trying to clean up after you pulled the insulation down out of a house like we did on this one. Just remember, there is riches in real estate, but you're going to have to work for it, and it's hard, hot, dirty work. I'm Jim Viebrock. Please go to maintenanceminute.net for more information. The next thing you want to do is put your top cap on. So this is the same material that we use for the stiles, but we ripped it down to 2 inches wide. And we did that because we're going to put another piece of trim underneath here in just a second. So it's very simple. You just rip it down, cut it to length, and then we're going to attach it to the top. The only thing you really got to worry about with your nail gun is just angle it backwards a little bit because you don't want a nail to come out the front. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take our trim. This is our trim. This is actually a chair rail. It's about 1.5 inches thick. And I'm going to just set it right up underneath there, flush against the edge, and going to attach it. I'm going to hold it tight to the top piece the best I can. Okay, that pretty much concludes the construction of our wall decoration. What I'm going to do, same thing as before, I'm going to run a bead of caulk under here, bead of caulk here. I'm going to putty my holes, bead of caulk along the top and around the edges. The only thing I have left to do after that before I paint it is to put a final sand on there just to make sure that all these seams are nice and pretty. And then it's ready to primer and paint. So let's take a look at what it looks like after all that's done. Well, there's our project for today. This is a completely customizable project. If you'd wanted beadboard or some other pattern on the backside, you could easily have done that, put your panels up first, then build the project the way we did. If you want smooth panels on the inside, you can use drywall mud to simply smooth over the texture and sand it off. I think this turned out really nice, and it's a great addition to this home. It warmed it up with the colors that were chose here and really brought an element of elegance to this project house. We have a lot more projects to do, so let's go find something else to work on.
Are you interested in woodworking or home repair? If so, please look at maintenanceminute.net. Hi, I'm Jim Viebrock, and I'm the host of Maintenance Minute. From my website, you can watch videos on how to build a variety of arts and crafts projects, full-on woodworking builds, and home repair and remodeling tips, too. We recently added an archive section where you can see over 40 years of projects that I have built. Please take a moment and visit maintenanceminute.net.